time tracking. What does that mean? It means we're just talking about stuff. How's everybody doing today? Just, when you come on, just give a little bit of a shout out, give a little bit of a hello or something, right? Right now, it's 0, I see. But here's the thing. Eventually, somebody will tune in. Look at how nicely these trees are going. Man, this one's doing great. Yeah? Nobody up yet? How about this? I mean, you know what the dead leaves and branches mean? Just means that the roots to that are not, they're not healthy. They're not getting nourishment to that part of the tree. So they say you've got to have 50% of the roots have to be in good shape. And it could take like years for a tree to recover. They took a little bit of abuse because they were really situated in the ground. And I didn't know I was going to end up transplanting them. So that's how it went, though. People wanted them transplanted, like, while I was pulling them up. So some of them might not survive. A couple of them are like right on the brink, but they've been up and at least have some green for a few weeks now. So I don't think it's likely they're going to die, but they could. So let me give you a little bit of an update on this GPC project. We've come through here a little bit, and we put up the lattice. We fixed the fence here in a few places. Now we've got the womanized or pressure treated lumber, mostly, because this is going to be something different. This is going to be a really cool piece of art. And, there's going to be a little lamp, like a little light up there over it, but it's going to be mountains, and it's going to be like a waterfall coming down. And then it'll just be like a clear crystal blue right here. As clear, as clear as we can make it. It might even be with the rocks. And then it'll just break down into these different size planters that'll travel along the same lines. So just, what GPC does is, and has to do with, all right, Wood, I'm sorry, I forgot about Lamar. I didn't see you guys. I was just like going on and on about what we're doing and what GPC is doing here on this project. I missed a couple of you guys probably, but let me know who all's there. I think we got a few. But how you guys doing anyway? Anything going on there where you are? I'm just out here like following up on some of this project that we started on a few weeks ago. I'm just kind of like, I guess I'm supervising more or less and kind of engineering different parts of it. So something that I like to do, and it's kind of fun. The guys have left for the day. We usually have a couple of guys. They don't like to be like on camera. They'll sign the release or whatever, but it's very reluctant. They're like, because they're day workers, and we just don't like to have them on like that. But I wanted to show you guys around a little bit. So this is what 230 bags of concrete looks like, poured for the foundation, I guess, of this back patio. So I know it's it's rough, but I want it rough. The rougher the better for this, right? Because we're gonna go over it with a coat, nice thick coat of mortar, and put these really nice tiles down. So, that'll help to hold it in place better than something really shiny and smooth. Plus, we dry poured that whole thing, dry poured it. Um, so, yeah, I mean, guys, look, it's life, right? Life happens. We just kind of get caught up in it. Um, it's going good, Dom. Good to see you. Yeah, Lamar, I got this towel on my head because, and that's just a little design that I put on it with some acrylic paint, but it keeps the sun off of the back of my neck and even the sides of my neck while I'm out here working in the sun. So, um, not that I don't mind getting a little sun, but too much can be painful. So yeah, Dom, it's going. I mean, we got this back patio, at least the first portion of it, poured. This fence is nice and straight now, at least as straight as it's going to get from what it was. We've got, the privacy part of it up, and we're back to this little area here where there's a drain, and this is going to be poured, and then it's going to be a piece of art, like I've described at the beginning. So, these guys that we have working are day laborers, and they just hang out and wait for somebody to come by and give them a job. I mean, um, you got to hand it to them, right? Because the working man, the blue collar man in America, I don't think he's been properly recognized yet. I think the blue collar man, no matter what his nationality or race or status, legal status, I don't think any of that matters when it comes to giving blue collar workers some kind of respect. You guys agree with that or no? Yeah, well, not really plans. Lamar trying to kind of get this, get to where I can travel freely, because right now, there's restrictions. So, trying to get this travel thing straightened out. I think it will. I think it'll resolve, but we don't have any big plans or anything like that. Just kind of hanging out. This over here is going to be my next little project to supervise or to look at or make sure we get what we want out of it. And, that's going to be kind of cool too, because like I say, it's trying to be a piece of art. That's why we're in this project. We're in it because of the art, because of the creativity that's involved in all of it. So yeah, it is what it is, and we are where we are. I might not be able to hang out for the full hour, 45 minutes. I may have to, check out at half an hour. which, sometimes I have to do that because I want to be, respectful of others. So, yeah. But if anybody's got like any kind of thoughts, comments, questions, feelings, let's skip the feelings for now. Nothing really much going on. Nothing in the news of, nothing that we haven't seen and heard like a million times already, right? So, not that much really, not that much happening. But, when we don't necessarily need a lot happening around us in order to have a lot happening, because, there could be a lot going on inside the mind, right? The mind is a mechanism of its own. And, it's just a matter of recognizing how intricate the human mind really is. It's you can't even put it to words. There's no words to describe the degree of intricacy of the human mind. There's nothing. So, how do you begin to explore it? How do you begin to look at it in some kind of an objective way where you can rationally, neutrally look at it and, get close to the reality of it, whatever it is. But like I said before, it seems like many people have a lot of trouble controlling or even understanding why it is they do what they do. Me included. I'm not above. I'm not above anybody. I'm no better than anybody. I'm not worse than anybody. That's the way I look at it. So, yeah. But to understand, to know certain things about yourself, I think that's critical, especially in this day and age, because many people are just letting their minds create these emotions that are driving them. And, emotions are very often painful. What are emotions other than painful thoughts? Well, originally I was born and raised in upstate New York, Syracuse area. I wasn't very far from Chad in Rochester. Didn't know him, of course. But I think Chad's been doing really good, huh? He's been doing really good. He's been doing really well with his channel. I mean, the kind of content, the quality, the regularity of it. Yeah, he's rocking. Chad is rocking with that. My stuff, I know. I don't like to talk a lot about prison. I mean, I'll speak, I guess, what I know and understand about it, but I don't like it to be like the main subject of my life or the core of it. There's a Sparky 2. What's up, a Sparky 2? You got to go back and look at this because, I showed everybody around and what we're doing on this project, but I'll give you a special tour. We got this big ass patio, at least the base for it, poured. 230 bags of concrete that we dry poured it too. We dry poured it. you know, I think it came out well for what we did. Um, that's what they wanted to do. So we did it. But a lot of work, a lot of work on those guys. But, you know, like I say, day workers, uh, you know, people call them, I don't know, I wouldn't call them immigrants or aliens or stuff like that myself because I don't really look at it that way. Um, but whatever, that's how they identify. So, Sparky 2. Yeah, man. Just just trying to, keep things rolling along a little bit here and there. Um, eventually you get somewhere, right? If you just keep doing what works, that's the whole thing about improvement, self improvement, or anything, right? Get rid of what doesn't work and keep what does. I think that's, it's a lesson in discipline for sure. And trust me, I'm not there. But, um, I'm hoping to be there. I want to be there. I want to keep working on me until I can find that constant peace of mind, that constant equanimity, just a kind of a relaxed frame of mind and body. Um, more like alpha stuff. Did you see that? That stump right there just tried to trip me. Now it's got to come out anyway. But that's like the third or fourth time I've tripped on that same stump. So, yeah, you see what's happening. But we got a lot of, we got a lot of good things, a lot of things to be grateful for, all of us, right? And that's another thing. We need to remember or to list or to, regularly practice gratitude, just being grateful. You might not actually feel grateful, but you can sort of make yourself feel grateful, right? Pick up a cup and look at it and say, man, I'm grateful for this cup. Because without it, I wouldn't have hot coffee in the morning or whatever. Spoon, a pen or whatever. We have things in this country. We have access to lifestyles that are obviously um, pretty much beyond the capacity of other countries at this time, anyway. So, generally speaking. So we are kind of fortunate to be residents in this country. And we have a lot to be thankful for, man. Freedom on the 4th of July, my wife and I, my beautiful wife Jane, and I, we went to a park where they had this big, the whole park was supposed to be a war memorial. And it had names on all these plaques and a big structure, huge structure, but there was nobody around it. Everybody was at the picnic tables or playing games or, swimming or walking around, whatever they were doing. Nobody was there. It was like vacant. So she and I just walked around. We looked at the names. We thought about some of the stories of those people. Yeah, I mean, it's significant. When you have somebody who is giving up their lives, picking up you know, armaments and going into battle, giving up their lives for, no matter what motivated them, it's still significant. So, I give great praise to um, the men and women, the people who have served and are still serving and so forth, because, without that kind of a thing in place, you don't need to overdo it. But if you underdo it, then you're in trouble too, right? So, you know, I give a lot of respect to that because I don't like taking my freedom for granted. There's nothing to me that's worth trading my freedom for. Nothing. Nothing. Zero. There's nothing to me that if somebody said, hey, I'll give you this in exchange for your freedom, I'd say no. Simple as that. There's nothing that's worth it. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind because, yeah, there's going to be temptations. There always are, right? But just relax. Relax. Maybe there's something else, something different, something that isn't going to put your freedom at risk in any way, shape, or form. It's not worth it. There's nothing worth putting your freedom at risk. Nothing. And, sometimes not as often as I used to, of course, but because I don't have the time, but sometimes I'll be scrolling through shorts on YouTube or wherever, and, you'll see these activities that are just like, come on. Come on, people. Really, let's get some respect together, some self-respect. That's where it's all got to start, right? When you see people who do not respect other people, then that's a sure sign that they don't respect themselves. So, we have to get people interested in developing or redeveloping or enhancing self-respect, respect for themselves as a human being, right? So the way that this is done, obviously, is to acknowledge certain basic human rights. You have to start there. Many of them are kind of contained within the Bill of Rights, but no. The Bill of Rights is seriously antiquated. But here's one thing I was thinking about the other day. I'm thinking, Van City, I see you. I see you, Zeus. I see you, Zeus. Dom's right there. We got, shoot, man, we're doing good. Yeah, the Bill of Rights is really antiquated because it doesn't cover really anything. But I was thinking the other day, the Sixth Amendment, because it used to be in the old days, you have the right to a trial by jury, right? Sixth Amendment. You have the right to a trial by jury. It used to be that the jury, not a judge, but a jury, the fact finders would also set the punishment within prescribed limits. So, yeah, I'm thinking guys need to get on that and, start bringing those kind of claims, because are are judges supposed to be imposing these sentences in the first place? Shouldn't it be, a jury that has determined you guilty and has heard all the facts of the case, and maybe there's a little bit more. Maybe you go into some kind of a sentencing phase in front of the jury. But I think that would be the fairest way to obtain fair and impartial sentencing. Look at all these sentencing schemes that they came up with, and none of them worked. None of them. They were all failures. Mess with my family, especially my daughters, and heavy time worth. Yeah, I think you're right, Sparky, too. I think that's right. Um, I mean, there's certain things that as a man you have to do. I mean, you have to be prepared to step in to certain situations, even if it means losing your life. You have to be prepared for that. And that's not always an easy thing. And a lot of times it's just situational. I can't tell you the stories of guys that were, when they were running around the compound, they were considered to be, badasses, at least somewhat. And then, the stories where their cellies would suddenly pull a knife on them, pull a shank, and, they just freeze up. Can't tell you how many times I've heard about things like that happening. So, but you still have to be a man. You still have to be a man. And what I mean by that is not some, status quo type thing that comes through whatever bullshit culture you want to attach to it. I'm just saying, to be a decent human being, just to be a decent human being, just to be on the path of trying to become a better human being every day. It's all it boils down to, really. Oh, Daryl Brooks. No. Hey, James, is it Island? Hi, James. Yeah, cool, man. But yeah, I don't know Daryl Brooks. The name sounds familiar. Ran over the people down in, was it South Carolina? It's one of the Carolinas, right? But yeah, I don't know. I just know that, there's certain things that could be done relatively quickly to modify to reform the criminal justice system in intelligent ways that would actually work to make it much more fair and balanced. I'm a proponent of automatic appeals. You don't have to, let's stop relying on attorneys having to object, having to, make arguments, keep the objection alive, filing briefs and, all kinds of motions and appeals afterwards. They're to the point now where they can use modern technology to look at the proceedings in that case and automatically run it through filters that determine whether there was fairness or not, whether Fifth Amendment has been violated or anything of that nature. I can't see. Wow. James, you did great, man. James, you did great. Oh man, you did great. Oh, Bam. I think, yeah, yeah. Was he the guy that attacked like the jailer in the in the pod? He was walking around. Now, you know what? I can kind of understand why that happened like that. I mean, you got a guy sitting in the middle of the pod. This guy's just walking around in slippers. He's under all kinds of stress, perhaps. Probably a lot of psychosis and stuff. But yeah, I know what you're saying, Zeus. It's not like the best setup, right? Um, but there is a certain level of intelligence. It's usually not the face of the office or the department. Um, it's usually behind the scenes, but there is a layer of competent people out there who keep this thing more or less in check. So yeah, I know what you're saying though. Yeah. Well, think of it, Dom. Um, what would what would your frame of mind have to be like? What would you have to be thinking to think that you're going to run your car into this crowd of people and just take out as many as you can, injure and kill as many as you can, and you're just whatever happens then just happens. If you're shot and killed, if you what kind of frame of mind would a person have to be in? That's that's a pretty sad that's a pretty sad state of mind. To somehow let your mind and your emotions be tricked into thinking that if you can do violence to somebody, you can somehow alleviate the the pains that you're going through. It doesn't work like that. If if somebody if I get a cut, um, it isn't going to help me if somebody else gets a cut and it heals well, right? Oh, that would be cool though. Bam, Chad's the man. I mean, Chad, we gotta we gotta we gotta lift up Chad, man. We gotta lift up Chad. Chad's doing the right thing. Um, he's Chad's. I'm telling you, he's the one. He's the one for this particular genre and this particular forum. He's the one for sure. Empathy, James. Empathy. You struck the nail right dead on the head, man. But that's what I'm saying. If people have respect, if you have respect for the next person, that means that you have some kind of empathy for them. I I think of empathy as being synonymous with respect. If you if you treat people well, even see here's the hard part. Even when people treat us badly, if we have reached certain places in our own personal growth and development, we can just we can go right past that. We can go right past that. We don't let that connect or you know drag us down. We can move past that because then we understand something about human nature, right? Because we understand our own nature. Yeah, Bam. He's He's like that. He's smart. He's capable. He's really putting great content together, great programming. Um, his content and program should be, my view, should be number one. He should be up there. Well, see, James, I'm going to say something that's going to be probably controversial, but you know, to me, to me, as as difficult as it is, because I think there's just a distaste that goes to the very core, to the very center of the human heart and mind when you hear about children being abused in any way or neglected or bullied. So, um, I mean, but it's hard for me, being where I've been and seeing what I've seen, it's difficult for me to um, put those people in a different category as far as status quo. Like they don't deserve to live, they deserve to be injured in prison, or they deserve to be killed. I don't believe that. I think it's horrendous, but again, it's about having basic respect for that human being. If you don't have respect for yourself, what kind of person would injure a small child or any child or any, underage person? Who would do something like that intentionally? Who would do something like that? You have to be seriously lacking in any kind of self-respect whatsoever. And probably, maybe the reason you're lacking in self-respect is because no one ever demonstrated respect for you in a way that, you would start to get it. So, my philosophy there, the way that I look at things is I'm not, I was in cell blocks and county jails, and I was with child molesters. They were in there. They just, you guys know, they put them in, they don't separate them out unless there's some big problem that happens. By then it's usually too late. But I knew guys that were in prison in the federal pen that were intentionally killing chomos just so they could get to ADX, just so they could go to ADX. That'd be a good subject for Chad to hit on too. But yeah, just so that they could get there, they would just pick a dude and wait for the right time and make their move. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But yeah, there were guys who actually killed other prisoners. And then, there's guys that will kill their cellie, and then, they think they're going to get some kind of applause because it comes out, yeah, I looked at his paperwork and he was a child molester and he was bragging about it. And I've never heard anyone and people I knew back in the day that were in the county jails and stuff charged with sexual offenses. I've never heard anybody brag about it in a jail. Never. To anybody. I mean, they usually kind of clam up or tell a different story. But yeah, I mean, I can't hate people. I can't take away any person's opportunity for redemption. I don't care. People agree with me or not. I've got to stand right there. And I can't take it away from them. I can say, okay, statistically, when you're a serial pedophile, that is a what they call a psychopathology. It's deep, so deep into your soul, it's ingrained as a need, as a desire, as a habit. And it's essentially in your central nervous system. It's essentially, programmed there. But perhaps as science learns more and more about the central nervous system, its effect on an individual's psychology generally, maybe in the future this will be discovered. But for right now, fellas, I know we went deep. We went, from here to there and back again, but I've got to go. And I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me and interacting. And I wish you guys the very best. I hope that you'll just continue to be grateful for everything you have and to just really just relax and enjoy your lives as much as possible, right? So until next Tuesday afternoon, I'm Jack Powers, and I'm out. I'm out.